welcome once again to Not Penelope's Kitchen.
欢迎大家。
So apple pie is a North American favorite. Everybody loves apple pie. So we'll make them today. We'll make two, and we have prepared some of it, but we'll show you how to. There's two portions. One, we have to prepare the apples and add the ingredients, a little sugar, a little flour, a little butter, and so on. And then we'll make the pastry. And I have bought some pastry shells for the bottom, and we'll make the top out of real pastry. So we'll demonstrate that.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's start.
So shall we get started?
Yeah.
So I'll just show you. I'll just show you peeling an apple. Quite simple.
我们会用到呢，派的这个外壳。我们知道苹果派外表是酥酥的，所以这个外壳我们今天选用的这个品牌。那这样还有呢，我们会用到红糖、面粉、黄油这些调料。当然，在节目的最后呢，会给大家上传食谱可以收藏哦。
Okay, so now we have the apples all cut, and we're going to prepare the apples for the pie.
哇哦，这个 apple 呢都已经准备好啦，这么多的苹果
So what we have to put in is some brown sugar,
我们要用的料呢有红糖，
some cinnamon,
这是肉桂粉，
lovely flavor, and a pinch of salt.
哦，这是盐海盐
So not very much salt, but a little bit. Cooking needs a little bit. So we'll put that in. So we have more than enough. So we need a cup and a half of brown sugar.
我今天做双份的量，所以呢将会是1个量杯，再加半个量杯。一份的话会是3/4杯。
I think with recipes now and cooking, people want to have less sugar in whatever they're baking. So you can try putting less sugar in.
Yeah， 我们现在加的肉桂粉呢
So
是
we spread that around a little bit.
1小勺的，因为是2份的量。
Maybe a little bit more. Okay. So, and then you could put the dry ingredients in a bowl and mix them up, but I find this way is all right. There's a bit of moisture in the pie when it cooks, and it seems to get moved around okay. So the other thing we need is some thickening agent. So with the juices from the apple, so we need a couple of tablespoons. Is that a tablespoon? Yeah, that's a tablespoon. So I find a little more is better. That's 2, 1 for each pie, and then 1 extra one, maybe a bit more. And that will make the pie firm once it cools down. The flesh in the pie will be a little firmer, so the pie will keep its shape when you cut it, right? So.
小窍门来啦，就是如果把这个派呢做得特别有型、特别好看呢，小窍门就是呢加一些面粉。刚才我们做2个派呢，加了4个小勺的面粉，这样的话能够让它呢就是变得浓稠一点 ，thicker。
We didn't put any in, so it has this lovely. Doesn't it look lovely color?
It smells so good.
Yeah. We need 2 teaspoons, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt.
我们现在要做那个就是派的，我拿过来给大家看
So
一下。
there's a half. So what we're doing now is making the pastry.
就是我们要做派的上面。
That's sort of like a quarter.
就是2个小勺的盐，然后it's a 1 cup flour.
There's 1 in there and another one to go.
Yeah.
So
这是1杯的面粉，就是我们现在不是有。
This is just to mix it up. So there's the other cup of flour. So with the pastry recipe, which is on the side of the box, I asked my mother once how she made such delicious pastry. She says, John, it's on the Crisco box. I thought it was a secret family recipe, but evidently not. So there's 2 cups. Once again, we have 2 knives, and we put the Crisco shortening in. Where's the box? There we go. Okay, Crisco shortening or other shortening.
这个植物黄油呢是我们今天选用的这个品牌。那这个派呢做的那么好吃，大家都特别喜欢。其实呢，在这个背后，这个盒的背后呢， 就是它的配方啊，这个配方就按这个配方来做呢，就会做出来很好吃的苹果派。
Sort of a big bowl but we'll crack the egg in it.
我们现在先把鸡蛋放到另一个碗里面。我们通常呢，咱们做点心都是一个盆呢是干的，一个盆呢是湿的。
Then we need a tablespoon of vinegar.
现
This
在
is
呢
our white vinegar, sorry.
要加两个 teaspoon 的这个白醋。
Tablespoon, sorry. Did I say teaspoon? Tablespoon.
Tablespoon 和 teaspoon 呢是不同的尺寸啊。
You hold the bowl.
OK。
And
现在加冷
I
水。
need 2 tablespoons of water.
OK。
This, that's pretty well mixed up, right? We add this to the pastry.
把它加到刚才我们调好的这个干粉里面。
I'll use the knives to cut it up a little bit more, to mix this around a little bit. It feels good. This is sort of soft, a little mushy, and it looks like the pastry is going to stick together okay today.
哇，这个看上去很好啊，今天的软硬程度。
So there we have this lovely ball of dough. So what I'll do is I make the top for 2 different pie shells. We'll roll these out in 2 separate pieces and make a top for each one. So there's one. And what I'll do is I need to put a little bit more pie or apple in here to make it a little higher. It will cook down, as they say. And
就是现在呢，在这个派的底壳上面呢，加了准备好的苹果馅儿，然后呢，把它弄得尽量的高呢。当然呢，料足好吃，对吧
So now we'll roll out the pastry to cover the what we've prepared here. So the rolling pin is actually my mother's. She's had it for a long time. So
他今天用的这个擀面的是他母亲留给他的。
if it's not big enough, you could cut a piece off an area that is got lots on it. You put a little water on the edge of the dough, a little cold water, and then you place it on there, push it together with your fingers, and maybe a little sprinkle of flour.
他说，如果呢，你这个擀的不匀不圆，某个地方尺寸不够，可以把多出来的边边呢切下来，然后呢用冷水和干面将它像粘胶一样粘在你需要的这个位置，修修补补。
So we check again, and now you see we have lots of room around the edge.
他说现在看上去这一张是够用了，我们就用这个来衡量。
So you take some cold water, which I have in here, and moisten the edge of the pie shell. And this helps the pastry stick together. Maybe less critical with apple pie, but if you have lots of berry pies, there's a lot of juice in them, and the juice will leak out if you don't have a good seal around the edge of the pie. Everything. I think we got it all. Okay.
对，这个水呢可以帮助我们待会儿把上面的皮和下面的核连接在一起。
In Mandarin, how do I say I didn't forget this time?
我没有忘记这一次。
Jiatsa?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So I do this carefully, quickly, and if it's stuck on you can lift it up, you see, just enough to get it centered properly. Then carefully peel it off. Isn't that beautiful?
Wow,
So,
it's an art.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
So now, I'll show you this stick. So I use my finger and thumb, and I just go around like that. Oh, you need two fingers and a thumb. You go around like that and pinch the, oops, see the piece? Well, we're back again. And you can see Penny's been busy making little apple tarts with the leftover apple. So I've got the last one ready to go on, but I forgot to put, the recipe calls for a little bit of butter in the apple mix. And we only have margarine today, so sort of said a tablespoon or so. So there's a little bit. I just usually put it on the top like that, and it'll melt and percolate through the pie as you cook it. So
我们刚才那个呢，没有加这个黄油，我们这个派呢会不一样，加一点在 top 在上面加一点黄油。
So I will do this thing again with the magic lifting of the pie top. Actually, I'll move this over here. Whoa, sorry. And
It's butter, Korean butter.
this is actually margarine, but regular butter would be more tasty, I think. So.
如果放那个黄油呢，会更好，更浓郁一些。但是这个也非常好。
I forgot to bring it today. So there we go. So another, just demonstrate the lift once again. We've got this one. See, this one is nice and round, and you don't want to make this too thick. You want to have it relatively thin. These pastry shells are fairly thin pastry. The pastry is very tasty, but you don't need to, from a health point of view, eat too much of it. And there we go. Get it in the middle. Peel it off carefully. And there we are. Look at that, eh? So I'll just go around quickly.
我们刚才学的那个词叫 pinch，pinch 就是
pinching again.
P-I-N-C-H。今天用了好几次啊，一个是捏，它就是中文捏的意思，就像现在这样用3个手指。
Is that close?
Yeah.
Close enough. There we go. Put the pie on the top. Now, we cut the extra off again. There's a lot of apples in here. This is fairly heavy, actually.
他说特别沉啊，哎呦，真的，这个是挺沉的。
These pie shells are relatively small. In the old days, it'd be a big glass pie plate and much deeper, right? So I have a bit of pastry left over. So before I pop them in the oven, I'll cover this with pastry. Might have a little bit to do some of those. Who knows? The other thing we can do is you put a wash on the pastry on the top, and you can use milk. Better to have whole milk because it has some butterfat in it, or an egg. And what this does when you bake it is that it makes a nice brown color on the top of the pie. Really quite lovely.
We are doing the decorate on the top.
Yeah, we we wash it on. We don't have a brush, so I'm going to have to use my fingers. I forgot to bring my brush this time, so we'll take this and sort of.
它这个就是做装饰啊，希望把这派的表
Put
面
it
呢，
all over the pie, or as much of it as you can get.
本来是用刷子，但是呢，今天我们改一种风格，粗犷一点，用手。烘焙的魅力，也就是可以激发每个人自我创造。你可以放一些自己喜欢的材料食材。也可以呢，用五指刷代替我们商店里买的刷子，种种都展现了你自己的特色。
I think we're ready to put them in the oven. So when we bake the pie, we bake them at 425 for 15 minutes, or what did we say, 220 centigrade. And then after 15 minutes, we turn the oven down to 350 for another 35 minutes. So a total of 50 minutes in total. So 350 is 175 C. And the purpose of the hotter temperature is to help make the surface of the pie crispy looking and nice and brown. So we have to make sure we can get everything in. So
整个这个派呢，刚才我们说了需要50分钟，对吗？其中的先开始的15分钟呢是需要220度，然后剩下的35分钟呢是需要175度。
Okay, well, the bell rang, and the pies are done. Doesn't that look beautiful?
哇，这些派好漂亮 ！Yeah, they look so good.
They look beautiful, don't they?
Yeah.
So I think we did a good job today. So we made these little ones. So I cut one in two, so we can at least have a little bit for you. And it's different pastry. This is phyllo pastry, and this is regular